What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben Chafee. I'm COO of Alpha Futures. Today, I'm here with one of our qualified traders who has got a very nice payout with us. I'll let him introduce himself here in a moment. But just under 8,000 on that one payout, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So why don't you take it from here? Introduce yourself. Tell the community who I'm talking with today.
Yeah, man. So my name is Akash. Nice to meet you guys. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. Lived here most of my life. In a kind of quiet southern town. Got into trading about probably 8 or 9 years ago. Really rode that big like CFD prop firm wave a few years ago. Just new prop firm every 2 days, get a payout or two, then they get closed. You know how it goes. But yeah, I really started my trading journey kind of just playing around with options in college, and then I've been working jobs and stuff, and then I just had like a wild spike all day, and I was like, whoa, they're not paying the kid like this at work, man. I gotta check this out.
Found
But
the
kind
power
of
in
got
it.
into options, lost a ton of money as we all do. Kind of got in the forex space, did good for a while. Kind of got into a little bit of like a gambling habit, trading CFD props. Kind of stepped away, stuck with futures. Just kind of having these lower drawdown limits, kind of having to trade a little tighter. Just forces you to be responsible. You can't just go out there and click, 10 lots Euro USD. Let's see what happens. But yeah, trading journey has smoothed out a lot over the last year. Last 3 months or so, I've gotten a payout nearly every single week from either TopStep or, as of last week, you guys. But yeah, I trade a really kind of, I say conservative. I just trade a 0.5 R strategy. So I mean, every day I lose, it takes two to pick it up. But I mean, I've been floating between 70 and 80% win rate with that really low R. Typically one trade a day, and I just set my personal daily loss, personal daily win. Whatever happens, I'm done for the day. Little different, obviously, if you got some less drawdown because of some mistakes maybe that were made, but usually just one trade a day, and I'll call it.
Cool. So talked a little bit about your journey. You were over in the CFD space. I was similar, found my way into futures being in the US and everything. And obviously the centralized data was the biggest drawing point for me and the CFD accessibility issue. But how long, when did you actually start trading? I know you said you messed around with options. Was that around like 2018, a little bit later, a little
Yeah,
bit
about
earlier?
2018, 2019. I'd say I got really seriously into trading probably about 4 years ago. When I say seriously into trading, like not playing around like a Robinhood account and stuff. Like, like I put some money into a futures account. I used a regulated broker in the past, and I started realizing that a lot of these futures firms, like, man, like you're getting free drawdown essentially. Like, there really is no point in just stacking what $2,000-3,000 into a futures account when in all reality, like, if you got 20, 30K, go for it. Makes sense. Go trade, go trade on a broker. You're good. But I mean, as you said, the centralized data. I mean, if you can trade real CME contracts on a prop and get extra drawdown. Come on, man. It doesn't make any sense. Trade the
Yeah.
props, use good ones. Obviously, I've had some tough experiences here and there, like losing some fundings from, prop firms doing some less than professional things. We'll leave it at that. Won't say any names. It's not what we're here to do. But some other futures firms didn't have the best experiences with. Alpha and one other firm that I trade with are the only two that I use at all anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you can. Don't worry, like I'm fine with you saying it. I respect TopStep well too. I've traded with TopStep plenty of times. Don't worry about like not naming them or anything. That's
Yeah,
all good. We definitely
they're
respect
yeah.
them a lot, and I mean, hey, they're the oldest, and they've kind of become the standard of the industry for a reason. So between us and TopStep, how much are you funded total capital?
So right now I just have 450K accounts with TopStep. I've always done the small ones there just because like if I can get paid every week, then I'm fine with one, two, $3,000. That's not a big deal. You do 2K a week for the whole month. You're making more than a lot of average
Great
Joes,
money,
I
yeah.
would say. But yeah, over there I kind of opted for the smaller accounts, and then when I saw you guys dropped your futures offering and I saw the platform, I was like, oh, I've seen this somewhere before. This looks really nice. But jumped in there with you guys. I would say the evals, I've failed a lot more evals at other firms. I don't know how I managed to pass every single one I've taken here, but it's been, it's been a good journey. It's been fun. I will say with trading with alpha, the withdrawal rules, huge thing to me. Just because, I mean, I've stranded probably over the last 4 or 5 months. I probably had $20,000-$30,000 stranded in TopStep accounts because I couldn't withdraw. You know how it goes. You'll have a bunch of copied accounts. Maybe you get to like 3,000-4,000. You withdraw half of all those, lose 2 days, start over, buddy. Like you just left a bunch of money on the table. Which, I mean, if you're trading a futures firm, you need to leave room, period. But it's just, something about it's kept leaving a little bit on the table over there. And then with you guys, had a really good first 2 weeks. I ended up actually messing up one of my accounts with you guys. I still have the other 250Ks, got a little bit of profit in them. So I said 300 to so about $500,000 funded. And then I had a bunch of Apex accounts for like 10 minutes and they were gone. Dude, that intraday trailing drawdown, dude, this just I don't agree with it. I don't think it makes sense for a trader to go in there unless you're really just planning on gambling your first day or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to act like it doesn't work for everybody. I had a similar struggle with their kind of platform as well because I'm not a scalper. If you're somebody that takes profit within 30 seconds to a minute every time, you know what I mean? You can get away from the trailing drawdown pretty easily. That was never my style. It never will be. So I had a tougher time with them comparatively. Yeah. But just so people understand what you're talking about, right? Leaving that money in. A lot of other firms out there, just so the audience knows, they have green trading day requirements or a 60 to 90 day requirement before you can actually take withdrawals, whether it be a withdrawal cap
or withdrawal caps.
Yes, exactly. So we have neither of those. And some people, kind of looked at our tiered payout structure. Just if anybody doesn't know, your first two payouts are 70% with us, then 80% the next two, then 90% plus after that. But the thing we don't do is kind of trap your funds in the account, as Akash is talking about here. That's something we really wanted to avoid. Not trying to talk down about other firms, right? Like, hey, like I said, we respect TopStep a lot. They're obviously the first, and in my opinion, they set the standard in the industry. That's who we see ourselves as chasing. Of course, we wanted to make tweaks to our plan that we felt like benefited the trader a little bit more, which I'm glad to hear that, you felt that it does benefit the trader a lot.
The withdrawal. I hit the nail on the head.
We've gone with for sure. So I'm glad to hear that, and like you said, it allowed for you to be able to withdraw that $8,000 and continue trading with us without those kind of restrictions that other firms put on the traders. So of course, we need to find a sustainable model. That is why we went with the tiered pay structure rather than just 100% payouts right at the beginning.
I think 90%. It's totally fair. I think it's reasonable.
I'm glad you feel that way, because that's obviously the feedback we wanted to hear from our traders.
Right. Well, and I mean, like, consider this, last week I had a payout on Wednesday. I was in Las Vegas for a buddy's bachelor party. Like, I didn't want to trade Thursday. I chose to trade Friday, which I didn't. Not a big deal. We're okay. But just, it's just my TopStep accounts. Like, I was in, not the best mood and feeling, and I still felt, I felt inclined to trade those accounts that day because, like, I need 5 winning trading days. Right. Well, I've only got 2. I want to withdraw next Wednesday. So, ended up taking a trade Thursday that, it ended up working out. But it's very low probability, not in a good mental state to be trading. And the problem there, the reason I bring this up is I felt the need to. I did not feel the need to trade my alpha accounts. I chose to Friday, but Thursday I just took a day off to myself. I wasn't impacting my payout schedule by doing so. So it was, just in practice, like my first 2 weeks with you guys, there's already some like very clear benefits in my opinion.
I'm very glad to hear that. Just get back to your trading. What assets are you mostly trading?
Yeah, so I only trade NASDAQ. I don't trade anything else. So just, I would say, like, chart wise, I do trade ICT concepts, I guess. I mean, not to the extent of some of these guys out here trying to rewrite the matrix, if you will. But, I trade open day gaps during Asia session or early London usually. I over time just came to realize I'm not a good trader during New York session.
Sure.
Something I had to come to terms with. I would always try to trade that 9:30 around 10 a.m. Like, try to get in there early in New York session. I mean, just kept losing accounts, or when I would make payouts, it was very sporadic, not consistent at all. And then over time, I started realizing that, if I'm trading 0.5R, on a 50K account, I have no purpose of using more than 2 contracts, or I usually just keep with that scale. If I'm trading 150K account, I'll do 6 contracts, 0.5R, but you're talking 12, 13 points for take profit during Asia. It's happens every 30, 45 minutes. For people that are trying to trade these big expansions and have these big flips, I would, doesn't make any sense to trade Asia. You're not going to get enough movement to get those moves. You will once in a while for sure, but
Yeah, that'd be more like the end of the Asian session, right? As we
exactly,
transfer
yeah.
over
As
in New
London's
York,
figured
when you
out.
get those 8:30 Eastern time news events, that's really when you're looking for the bigger moves towards the end of Asian.
Absolutely.
So I guess talk a little about what do you do for work? Because I'm sure that actually goes pretty well with your work schedule, right? Being on Eastern time,
Yeah,
you can trade before work. Why don't you expand on that a little bit?
absolutely. Yes. So I work in healthcare policy and technology. So I work for a huge health records company. It's based out of Tampa, Florida. I work remote, so I kind of, it's nice to be able to trade and work from home. It's
Yeah.
kind of, go to bed when you need to, get up and do things you need to. But I deal with a lot of just government regulatory stuff. I've done this in the fintech field in the past, and I kind of transitioned back to healthcare because I spent too much money on school to not come back to healthcare.
Yeah.
But no, I basically, I pretty much just explain government jargon to people I work with to make sure that, we're compliant, and, there's a lot of like government payer programs and stuff, make sure like all of our hospitals that work with us are getting paid to the highest extent.
Awesome. So something, right? I used to be an engineer myself. We learned Akash and I are similar age, graduate college at the same time. So I always just a little bit about me. I always plan on doing both part time, and then
Mhm.
I mean, my trading just took off to a point and got involved with and grew companies to a point that I'm here, doing more of an executive role now. But I always thought about doing both part time, and it seems like you found a great balance there. And I try to encourage as many people. Look, if you get caught up in some startup environments or truly start doing well enough as a trader, sure, you can take that freedom and quit your day job. I think you're a perfect example, though, of using it as just extra income. Like, there's no reason for you to quit that day job. You know what I mean? You're leveraging that paycheck into being able to buy challenges. And obviously, you've got yourself to a profitable space now that you're making extra money every month. I think you're a great example of what most 9 to 5 people should be looking to do with prop firms. You know what I mean? We talked about earning that money and eventually trading a personal account. That's what I try to vouch for people to do is like, hey, do not quit your day job. Find a way to fit this in your schedule. You can
I
do both
agree.
part time, scale that income. And then, hey, if you start trading well enough that you have this massive personal account that you can go full time with it, then make that jump. But I think you're a perfect example of why I got so passionate about the prop space was helping other young people like ourselves that got into a bunch of college debt, finding a way to pay off all of that
We all have.
shitty situation we all got put in. You know what I mean? So I think you're a great example of it. And I hope people see you as a realistic and, you know what I mean, attainable schedule. Because, like you said, you trade the Asian so you can go to work 9 to 5. You separate the two extremely well. I think people try to mesh them a little bit too much. So I hope kind of them seeing your schedule will help them out a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I'll say to some effect as well. I mean, my previous role that I worked in, I worked for just a local regional hospital. I mean, in my industry, when you do healthcare administration, you work in a hospital, you're just not going to make that much money. It's the way of the world. It sucks. These guys are paying their money to their doctors. They don't, not to be, not to be a little over the top, but like they don't really care about you as the business guy. Like, we'll get a new one of these kids if you want some more money. Just get another doctor in here. But that being said, when I was in kind of that schedule, that was a lot of what kind of got me started looking into that Asia session, because I used to have to go to work at 5 a.m. and I would leave around 3 or 4 o'clock. So, I mean, that you don't really have the time. And I mean, like once I'm at work, New York session is starting. I'm already there for 3.5 hours. I'm on like my little AT&T hotspot on the laptop. I'm hiding in the corner of my office to trade. Like, was not conducive, but it's kind of having to keep running my head into the wall during those times and trying to figure that out. Because I mean, you can imagine I tried a number of things. I'm like, okay, I got to be at work at 5. I'm already getting up at 4. yeah, it's kind of the thick of London session. Could do something here, maybe try it out, burn some accounts, and say, okay, what about before bed? What the market doesn't do much. Like I'm only going for 12.5 points on NQ. Like what that's gonna happen any session. Fine, we'll give it a try. Did it for about a few weeks, then a few weeks turned to a few months. I mean, over the last like 90 days or so, I've had my win rate just stuck between 70 and 80, which I am totally fine with that. It's paying the bills, have extra money. Got to go on a nice vacation with my buddy last week for his bachelor party. I got to buy him a couple, buy him some nice things, take care of him, but definitely not something I would be able to do just for my job. Like, no way. From my job, and even now with that, it's like with my job, like my salaried income, I just pay bills, just rent, groceries, credit card debt, stuff like that. And then my trading money just kind of sits there and it's growing a little bit over time. And then it's actually another aspect that I think a lot of people kind of think about stuff like this, and then they get really hung up on just trading and making money this way. I've got a lot of interest in like the Section 8 housing environment. I've been I was able to buy a real estate course. I was able to kind of start studying for my real estate license, looking for stuff like that. But I mean, this industry has opened up every door in the world to me that I spent 6 years between undergrad and grad school just trying to, really grind it out only that way. And that I feel also wasn't the answer. It's kind of like neither one is really going to be alone. Like I think especially as young people, like should always have some kind of second income. I'm not saying everybody in the world should trade. Like if anything, I very much disagree with that statement. I don't think everyone in the world should trade. But for guys like us, we found a little bit of road here in the space, and it's been good to us. I mean, I've definitely had a much different life since trading in the prop space. I mean, get to live a little better, have a little bit more space. I don't stress about bills. And then when I do lose trades, conversely, I don't really mind. It's just kind of part of the game. It's okay. You get them next time, coach. No worries. But
Yeah,
I definitely it took a lot of time. A lot of time to kind
absolutely.
of just start feeling okay with, hey, you lost today. You'll win tomorrow. Don't worry about it.
Absolutely. If let me know if this is overstepping, we can cut it out after too, of course. But do you mind sharing, what your total payouts have been across all firms this far in your
Um,
journey?
I can give you a
An estimate's
good.
okay too. Yeah.
I say here. I can show you my little Discord area here. I usually put most of my this little funded traders tab we have. Oh, whoops, that's your Discord. Hold on. Where are you? Oh yeah, this little funded traders channel. Like all of my friends have. Oh, I'm the Akash with the Waffle House sleeve here for my picture. But yeah, I mean this entire channel has pretty much just been me showing my payouts. I mean, last week I had a $5,000 payout from TopStep as well, so I had a nice 13 grand after split, 17,200 before split last week. And then you see I'm not making this stuff up. This is the last week, 0.5 hour strategy. Don't do anything differently. And I was telling them I'm into Vegas. This was you guys again, little request. I was giving you some love. You guys did a great job with my support. I was making sure to let these guys know.
Appreciate that.
Let's see some more Top Step. Okay, I kind of grabbed a couple extra Top Step accounts just in case I failed the ones I had the other week. Got those. Let's see some more. Oh, this was with you guys. This was
Awesome.
my Top Step payout last week. Another little 5,400.
So are we
Oh, this
talking
was
somewhere around like maybe 20,000, somewhere around there or higher?
let's see. The last 3 months have been about 20 to 30 a month. I mean, this month has
Oh
been pretty
wow. Okay.
good, but I mean that's between like work is okay. So subtract like 5K from that because that
That's
work doesn't
awesome.
count.
So that's amazing. So we're talking about like $20,000 a month. Then is what it sounds like you're making in payouts. And how many months? You said like the last three. So we're talking really closer to like 50, 60,000 in payouts. You've done that.
Yeah, last 3 months have been super hot. So I would say right before leading up to summer, that was kind of when I got in my little CFD, kind of just over leveraging everything. I mean, I've come to terms with the fact that I need to trade accounts with tighter drawdown
Sure.
restrictions. I don't do well when I have all that space. People like, especially when I would do CFD props. I mean, I was getting like 200K evals, like when the cartoon prop firm we all know about, they were having their little 500K evals. Like I could pass these things and I would just blow them. I wouldn't even make it a day 2 trading, blow them right away. Now, two things. A, that's not possible here. Big key. That's not even possible with these accounts. Second off, like there's something about the futures environment, the way like just you're trading individual contracts, all the features of your platform, outstanding, presetting your bracket orders, presetting your risk settings, not having a choice to get back into your account if you're leaving your rules set. I mean, you can definitely just change your daily win or daily loss, and you're out of your strategy now. But I don't. Aside from, I've been changing the bracket order sizes a little bit today just to kind of get some wiggle room back on my accounts. But had a winning day today, a little 1,500 on both of my accounts. Same with TopStep, a little 500 on each of the 4. But I mean, even so, like, you think like without payout splits, it was 3,000 with you guys today, and there's 24 or 2,000 with TopStep today. I mean, it's 5K days, not bad. But just keeping slamming at it, just one single strategy, one bullet a day, get out of there for the day when you're done. I mean, I don't think that I had the discipline I have now until some of these little changes started coming in the props. I mean, Tradeovate, they were always like, all right. Like I made some money trading with TopStep on Tradeovate, but nothing like now. Like nothing even close to now. Like Apex, I've passed probably 20 Apex accounts. Never once gotten a payout with them. TopStep, I've gotten many payouts from TopStep. But it's also a little bit distorted because every time I get one payout, it's technically 4 because I have the 4 copied together.
Right.
But
right. And hey, no matter what, you're getting the money hitting your account. That's amazing. That's awesome, man. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you, man.
So just talking a little bit about your strategy, would you be willing to share some charts here and kind of, because I mean, 70-80% hit rate, right, is what you're going to need anyways with a 0.5R strategy. And I know you found a lot of success with it. A lot of people hear that, right, and they get scared of needing the high hit rate. So why don't you walk us through some of your analysis and your entries that allow you to be able to operate with that higher hit rate, because that's obviously what you need with that kind of strategy to stay profitable.
Let me see if there's, because you know how like lots of times it'll leave your little position markers on at least for the day. Let me see if they are. Oh, there's a few that got deleted here. That's okay. I'll just show you on TradingView.
Yeah, if you just want to mark up 2 or 3 trades just so people get an idea of like, oh, okay, that's how he's able to, you know what I mean? Here's your entry criteria. Okay, how often does that come around that you're able to keep such a high hit rate? Let's see. Let's go to yesterday. I took a trade last night. So these little things I have marked off on my chart, they're just imbalances from the starts of the day or the week. Sure. So let's see. Yeah, this is a little open day gap here. So typically I'll give Asia like an hour or 2 hours kind of get cooking, because lots of times you'll see a lot of this kind of BS when you start. It won't move. Yesterday, everything started moving really fast. So whenever like if I see us dip into one of these open day gaps or conversely dip up into it and start pushing down, I'll usually just trade away from these gaps and just wait for price to come to them. But the thing with Asia session is this gap is formed immediately at the start of that session every single day. So the odds of you not getting near it at any point during that session they're next to 0. I mean, well, actually they're roughly 22% based on my trading strategy. But no, I mean, like yesterday, I'm pretty sure I took a long right here. Let me see. Yeah, so I just went long off of this gap yesterday at some point. So looks like we got away. I think I got in right about here. It's at 19. Oh, this is a 9Q chart anyways, though. But anyhow, yeah, I just took a little long off this open day gap. I mean, let's look at last week. The hell was price last week? Oh, geez. NASDAQ's been moving like crazy, man. Wow. But, and then, okay, last week, Friday. This was my one trade I took on my alpha account that I lost on Friday. So I think at some point down here, I was trying to long off of this old open week gap and just was quickly torn apart. Quickly torn apart. Push downside 2 weeks ago now was pretty strong.
Yeah, but I mean, even so, I'll watch like my bias. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll come up to this hour time frame, kind of watch direction. Like, I'll pull up a daily chart just to see overall where have we gone, where are we heading. But I mean, in price action like this, it's a mess. I was targeting this 2024 open price like half of the year this year. It's like, okay, it's done dropping. We're long this year, okay. But I mean, even let's look at this. So it's 3 o'clock. The markets are basically done moving for the day.
Mhm.
If we get an open gap, we just price down a little bit. I'll probably just try to sell off this area. We have like an old open week gap. Probably gonna have a new open day gap right about here somewhere, just based on the way price looks like it's dropping to close. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do tonight. And if it works, cool. If it doesn't, we'll get them tomorrow.
Cool. So something you really focus on, I think that's important. And that's even something like I learned on ETFs and options, SPY and QQQ are pretty much what I learned on everything. And I always looked for gap fills, and that's just obviously close the day before open
Right.
at
Absolutely.
8:30. I played that a lot on ETFs, and you can transfer that over into futures, which is exactly what you're showing there. Because I believe I'd need to double check my source on this, but I believe gaps in futures actually get filled even more frequently than gaps in ETFs because, right, you're talking about
I can
they're
see
created
that.
in between sessions. Because I believe ETF gap fills are somewhere around, high 60s, low 70%. And it sounds like from what you're
Mhm.
saying, it's actually closer to 80% plus on those futures gaps. So that is something hopefully people can kind of put into their strategy because I never really considered myself, an ICT or SMC trader, but these gap fills and stuff are definitely things I've picked up on over the years. So, that example there hopefully kind
Yeah.
of shows people. Um, hey, like we
Yeah.
said, to be able to operate with a 0.5 R, you need some sort of edge that gives you a higher hit rate. And, the data shows you right there that, hey, about 80% of those futures gaps do get filled at some point. So I'm going to try to utilize that to help me have a hit rate that allows for me to be profitable at, a 0.5 R. Because obviously, different trading strategies work. I'm somebody that tries to operate closer to a 2R. So my hit rate's going to be a lot
Mhm.
lower than yours. But I try to tell people, look, there are traders out there. There are some out there that operate with a 90% hit rate. Now their risk reward might be like a 0.3 or a point
It's
two,
yeah.
but
Well,
they
well under
exist.
one.
They exist, and people just like kind of don't want to believe that. And what I've always taught, I used to be a trading educator and stuff with a company, High
Mhm.
Strike in the States. What I always teach people is like, hey, we just need to look at this objectively. If you're going to be profitable, where I try to have beginners start is try to find something that you can operate around a 2R with around a 50% hit rate. And then as you grow as a trader, manipulate that how you want to. Now, you obviously raise that hit rate and brought down the RR. That's fine. But you had a baseline that you start to try to figure out and then manipulate it from there. And most people don't understand it's always just between those two ratios, and that you need to find a way it's going to produce profitability.
Absolutely. And I think there's some aspect to this too. Like lots of people don't like trading the way that I do, and they don't like that people do because it's not sexy. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna have a $10,000 day. I will never have a $10,000 day. If I do, it's a capital allocation scaling. It's not me changing my trading. If I have, another 300,000 in funding, sure, maybe we have a 10K day here and there, but I'm not signing up for that. I'm not betting on that. I'm not hoping for that because that's not. I've tried to trade like that in the past, and it's bit me in the tail most every time. But
Sure.
I mean, something what when you were mentioning about the gaps and stuff, you said you never consider yourself like ICT and stuff. That's kind of what I said earlier. It's like I get kind of ICT, but like there's people will be like, oh, like this algorithmic basis where this and this is happening. The ghost in the machine. I'm like, dude, you need to relax. Just look at the candles. Like, stop doing this. Stop this. Look at the chart. You'll figure it out. So like we have fair value gap, open day gap. Stop. Quit looking into this stuff. You just confuse yourself more. And I've seen that happen many times. Most of the people, everyone's got those buddies. They go, hey man, teach me how to trade. Teach me how you're doing this, man. It looks really cool. And you'll tell them like, okay, yeah, like I use these few things, and this I learned it from this crazy old dude, and he seems to be pretty good at it. And I watched like one or two videos, started testing it out, and I just kind of kept going, and eventually it clicked. But I know people that have been trading way longer than me that could give you a dictionary definition of every term ICT has ever come up with, and they cannot execute for anything. So it's one of those in it, trading education in general, you have to stop. When you have something that works for you, stop the noise. Don't follow all these trading influencers. Don't follow these people. Like, follow your firms. Go follow your favorite college football teams on Twitter. I don't care. Barstool, go for it. Get away from these trading educators, because there's like, first off, almost none of them make money. Very few guys that are selling courses make money at all. I don't sell any courses. I started becoming very profitable the last few months. I have no desire to do so. I don't want to trade in front of people. I don't want to have to, I'm not going to be responsible for other people's trading actions. Like, you want to learn, like, I'll show you, I'll show you what I learned. Even my buddies in my Discord, it's like, they see what I do, but there's also an aspect to where I like that Discord because no one's paying for anything. No one's doing signals or anything like that. Like, we kind of, it goes from friendly chit chatting to, oh, hey guys, check out these payouts. Oh, check this out. I got funded. Like, oh, look at this trade I took today. Like, just kind of, it's relaxed, it's casual. Like, I wouldn't even consider it like a trading education Discord. It's just become just a big group of dudes that like each other and try to kind of encourage each other. Like, you do better, in an environment like that than with someone that's like, oh yeah, I have to teach you the secret formula. It's like, bro, there's
my
no
way or the highway. Yeah. And that's what I mean.
yeah.
I've gone through a lot of Discord communities, courses and stuff in my time as a trader too. I honestly don't regret any of them because my mindset was always like, okay, I'm going to take a piece of learning. Same way I kind of accidentally find my way into ICT, SMC concepts and stuff. I never actually took a course on either of those. It was just from learning from other profitable traders out there that were teaching these things that I was like, okay, I'm going to take a piece of whatever that
get a little nugget of it. You don't have to immerse yourself in it.
But I think you're totally right. Look, as far as trading education out there goes, you are going to, like, I personally think plenty of them do have things to offer and you can learn from them. I never expected them to completely fix me as a trader, though. That's where I think kind of the disconnect is.
I think you hit it on the head.
You know what I mean? If their course is claiming to fix you as a trader, then yeah, you're probably right. Like, that might be a little bit sketchy. It's kind of a false claim.
Yeah.
If it's like, hey, I have a lot, if I have a lot to teach as a profitable trader, I'm kind of the opinion, I've never created a course or anything either for the same reason, because I didn't feel like I alone could tell people it's my way is the most correct way. But hey, I have a lot I feel like I can teach if you want to hang out in the community and we all learn from each other. That's exactly how I started too, was just as a student in a community. I fell in love with the community. I ended up being, hired as an employee in the community after that. I valued the community a lot more personally too than all the courses I bought over the years, was just because I could learn from different profitable traders. And that's obviously what we want in our Discord too. I know you're active in our Discord, and we have pretty much everybody that's been paid out are the most active people in our Discord, which we're very thankful for and lucky for. But every beginner trader can learn from you guys. Now, not saying they should go blast you with questions, but all of you guys have been incredibly helpful, and we value that so much at Alpha, whether it be cap or futures, which we're extremely thankful for. But it also kind of shows, we do treat our qualified traders extremely well, because otherwise you guys wouldn't keep coming back or be active in our community, if we weren't treating you fairly.
No, I mean, just every little tiny detail. I mean, heck, you guys, you can cut this if you want to. It's like, you guys almost paid me too much. I was like, hey man, as much as I want this, I think it's supposed to be 70.
Yeah. I mean,
just top shelf guys. I mean, y'all have been awesome. Support's been great. I mean, I've built my little home at TopStep. I love trading with them. The support makes me want to pull my fingernails off, dude. Oh my gosh.
They are actively improving that. We'll give them credit.
Yeah, supposedly October they're making a big push. I have faith in them. I'm sure they will. But when I first started trading with TopStep, man, I get a support response before I close the little chat box. And now I'm just like, dude, how many traders do you guys have now? Good for you guys, but
yeah,
maybe message me back in less than 5 days. Also, let's.
I'm sure they will improve. Yeah, I'm sure they will improve that soon. Because I mean, they've obviously scaled incredibly well.
There's so many incredible support vendors out there and stuff. I don't know what those guys do. I imagine something like that. I mean, when I worked for a smaller company a few years ago, and I mean, even then, like we found some little like AI support bots and stuff like that, so where like certain things would trigger a response to, somebody in our customer support department. Certain things would, take them through links and stuff like that, which I know people don't necessarily love, but like you're clearing tickets at a much higher rate. I'm sure they'll incorporate something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys, you responded to me very quickly. I mean, like even in just like the little qualified trader chat, like I'd asked some open-ended question there the other day. Like you got back to me very quickly. But no, it's a great prop firm, good community of guys in there. Like even a couple of dudes that I've chit chatted with in there, they're like just the traders, like funny guys, they're cool.
Glad to hear it. Cool. All right, I've got a couple of things we'll wrap up here. Kind of a open-ended question. We'll kind of let you go on a couple of little tangents here. But I mean, what's your
All right,
12-month kind of goal or plan? I know everything's going very well right now. 12 months from now, what do you want to see? Just continue scaling that max allocation? What do you see yourself doing?
so I'm thinking as far as 12 months, I really, man, I just want to keep the ball moving. So I have my 250K accounts with you. Probably it's not really 12 months away. Probably like Monday, grab another one, try to replace that bad boy, and then just keep my funding at both prop firms. Like I've gotten to the point where I don't have a desire to try to make big trades. I don't really trust any other futures firms, being completely honest with you. So, I mean, my ceiling is one account away at TopStep and Alpha. So, get to that 5 TopStep accounts, get to that third Alpha account back, and then just try to consistently make 20 to 30K every month for the rest of the year. Let's say the rest of the year. Next 12 months at 20, 30, like, there's richer men out there. There's people that are doing more than that out there. That's great. Good for them. But this will allow me to get into some real estate projects I've really been wanting to. Moving into a new apartment, get some nice furniture. Like I want to get a new car in December. I don't want to. I have to get a new car in December because my lease is ending. But small things. I'm not gonna go buy a Lamborghini or some shit. Probably get like a Honda Accord. But you know what? It's a Honda Accord that I
That's
was
what
able
I
to pay
drive
full
today. That's
money
what
in.
I drive too. I drive a
There you
2022
go.
Honda Accord. I love it. I bought it new. I was proud of that at the time, so I'll take
Nice,
that.
dude. That's yeah. That sounds ideal. That sounds perfect, man. Like, but just kind of keep ahead of the game. Keep making money, keep my funding, and then start to build some more income streams. Like, this journey took a long time. There's other stuff that is, it'll build some cash flow incrementally. Like, not crazy. I mean, you're renting out these like Section 8 houses. Like, realistically, you'll probably only cash flow like a few $100 a month from each one. But it's something that every month that I'm having some good cash flow, it's like, oh, okay, like we can grab one more house this month. I don't need to put any more money into my trading, like keeping these accounts built up. And then specifically with my alpha accounts, I want to build some more drawdown in these accounts. I want to get to maybe like 10K of extra drawdown in each of the 3 accounts and just not touch it. Just because I mean, I would have to lose 4 straight trading days to lose that. And I mean, I I don't recall the last time I've lost more than twice in a row, and even that 2 days in a row, it's been far and few. I mean, it's just
especially
these
with
small
especially with
these
an
small
80%
I
hit
do it
rate.
so
Yeah,
high.
that's going to be, yeah, 80, 70, 80% hit rate. That is going to be tough, right? Like, I know I've definitely lost 3 days in a row plenty of times, but like I said, I operate closer to a 50% hit rate personally. So for
Right.
your
So think
style,
about it
yeah,
this
you know
way:
exactly what goes.
how many times did you float 0.5R into profit, even on those days you lost though? Probably quite a few times.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Cause my kind of cutoff personally for my, we won't get into my strategy too much to do that in other videos, but it's like 1.2. That's actually when I slide my stop to break even. I don't before then.
There you go.
And like for somebody like you're probably like, I'm already gone. I'm on to work the
Yeah,
next
I'm
day.
looking at
That's
the chart. I'm
forever.
like, Ben, you won twice. Get out.
Yeah, yeah, So like that's a different style there. But I mean, like you said, you know the exact number, how many times you need to lose in a row to lose the account, which is a great thing. I think more traders need to think about when they're managing their prop accounts.
Yeah, and I think there's also a really, really big aspect to, like, a lot of people will say, "Oh, I'm going to take X amount of trades this week." How many times do they actually do that? You have to have a little bit of help there, hence why I love the platform. I don't have a choice but to take one trade a day. If I stop loss or take profit, my day's over. It's not up to me. It's just okay. Well, that was fun. We'll try it again tomorrow. Like I looked at the charts like a few times today. I'm like, oh, Nas looks like it's moving. Oh wait, I can't trade.
Yeah, that manual lockout feature. Again, if anybody doesn't know, we do have, this is actually a hot topic, so we can talk about it right now. But daily loss limit, we have that on our qualified accounts of 2%, meaning your account is not breached if you lose 2% in a day, but it is locked out for the day. That's kind of become a hot topic in the space of like, oh, some firms removing it completely. We have no plans to, because every single one of our qualified traders is saying exactly what you are. It's a lifesaver, and they love it. So like we have no plans to remove it, to be honest, because 99.9% of the feedback has been that the traders love it. And then we do have the personal daily profit target that also locks your account to the upside of your take profit.
For what it's worth, I mean, TopStep just removed it. The first thing I did was go down each of my funded accounts and set the personal daily loss limit right back at 1,000. It was like, no, that's not changed. Leave it. I'm not changing it. I don't care if I don't have to have it. I'm going to have it.
And that's what most people, right? Their thing is like, oh, well, I could just set it myself. Why don't you remove it? As you were saying, how many traders actually do that? It's a very, very small percentage, you know? So
it gets murky out there, man. Like when you have full autonomy. And the thing is, like, when you're setting the limits, you do have full autonomy. And like even with these 150K accounts, you're losing 3K in a day, like it's tough, bro. Like it's tough. It's not like a really small loss. But I mean, even so, the daily loss limit is a lifesaver, A, and B, it is kind of a good bit of drawdown anyways, honestly. Like it's not, and then the thing is, the people that would argue that, oh, remove the daily loss limits, like just go back to CFDs then. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's what they're for. Like
kind of the argument I've heard, the only one that I was like, well, why, like, what's the benefit of having it removed, right? Because I even posted this in our Discord. I was like, here's why we're not removing it, guys. It would only increase our breach rate, which is worse for all of you as traders. So like, we don't want to implement a rule or take away a rule that we literally feel like hurts our traders, because otherwise we would just make drawdown like 1%. If we're going to go down that slope, right, that we're just going to start changing rules. Like we don't want to see our qualified traders breaching more often. The really good thing that the future space does, in my opinion, better than the CFD space, is getting traders to live eventually, right? Like,
yes, I agree.
Shout out to My Funded Future. Something they've figured out very well is their direct path to live. TopStep is a little bit more ambiguous. We're kind of like that right now when we go in and like kind of find our best traders and then, you know what I mean, talk with them about moving them to live, which that's actually what I wanted to say about one of your points. You're kind of ceiling is one more with TopStep and one more with us. TopStep does offer more funding once you get to that live stage. We're looking to do the same. So don't limit yourself on that ceiling yet, is all my point was going to be, because you know what I mean? The people that prove a track record with us and everything, that's when we want to scale them up with live. You know, we're still too early right now, only month 2, to kind of give you a great picture of what that is. But please know that is absolutely in the works for us. And I know TopStep operates in the same manner. That, you know what I mean? When you do well with them, they eventually give you some more funding as well to kind of raise your ceiling for you. So don't give up on that yet, was my only point for you there.
Absolutely. No, TopStep, I got so close to getting my last 5. Because I was like 5-4, 5-4, just kind of depending on like what order I activated accounts or had breached them here and there. But I had 5 TopStep accounts and I got them to 27 winning days and I lost it. It was okay. It was 3 days away. But no, I mean, it happens. That being said, like those accounts and the ones prior to those, I mean, I had each of them for over a month, like each set of accounts. So, I mean, and then with them, there's that kind of that thing about, I didn't have 5 winning trading days. And so then I went on tilt another day and now my accounts are gone. Versus, if I was up, 2 or 3%, I would probably just kind of be like, hey, withdraw Monday. Let's wait till Monday. It's like having the ability to do that. And then also there's an aspect. The one really good thing about trading a 0.5 hour strategy, I never have to worry about the consistency rule. Like ever.
Really good point. Yeah, that's actually very true. I didn't think about that till you said it.
No matter what, my best winning trading day will never be more than 1,500, no matter what I do.
That's a really good point. And honestly, so like I said, I've traded with TopStep, and I've passed the revals in 2 days, and that's usually most people come in. They're like, "How can I pass in 2 days?" I'm like, "Well, you can, like, that shouldn't be your approach coming in. That shouldn't be your approach coming in anyways. But all you have to do is set that personal daily profit target and hit it.
Yeah.
Like, if you hit it to back-to-back days, right, you can pass in 2 days. Not that that should be your way coming into your challenge anyways, but that's something I think a lot of people, why they dislike the consistency on evals. They're like, I can't pass in 1 day, which is the point. We need to see more from you as a trader, you know?
You're promoting good habits, though. I think it's a good thing. And I mean, it's, with y'all's, I mean, with TopStep, like, I'll just try to do half in 2 days and just kind of get it over with. But I'll also say this: I haven't taken a TopStep evaluation without also having funded accounts in months. So whenever I'm taking evals, I'm like, dude, I already made my money for the day. Like, just grab a few more just in case these get blown. But like, you know, my balance gets down to like 1,500 after a withdrawal or something. But like, don't tempt fate. Grab 4 more combines and see how they go. That way, if you know, because then at 1,500 on those, $1,000 risk, 500 profit. If I lose that first day and I have 500 left, I'm nearly going to guarantee you I'm going to take that second loss because I have half the drawdown I did. But that being said, like, I'll be precautionary over there, but it's also another one of those, like, they're very loose with the amount of accounts you have just live. They're very strict. But even so, I mean, y'all's accounts, like, I do, you know, it's just a little bit more drawdown, you know, overall. That's something I don't know how I glazed over that. Y'all's drawdown is the best in the industry as well.
Yep, which is something absolutely we wanted to hit the scene with. We really cared about not changing the profit target and the drawdown ratios. You'll notice ours are, right, they're 1.5 across all accounts. Most other firms scale it up to 2 or higher on the big accounts, meaning drawdown's tighter, profit target's bigger.
Right.
So we were very passionate about keeping that the same, because the idea is, right, learn on the 50K account, you do well, get your risk back off that 50K account with a small payout, move on to the hundreds, then move on to the 150s, which obviously you learned a TopStep on the 50Ks, gave you the confidence to go with the 150s, especially having that same profit target and drawdown ratio. That is something that, like, you know, it was obviously a give and take the whole time with ownership. I'm a trader myself. It's kind of why they brought me in with ownership, was like, hey, we're going to push back and forth on what do the traders want? What can ownership do for sustainability? That's like something I was not willing to budge on, and I wanted to hit the market with. So I'm glad you appreciated that, because I knew traders would, because I know I would have appreciated it myself if, you know, all firms had the same ratio.
My first day funded with these 3 copied accounts, I lost. I ended up 9 trading days later getting a payout. But if I only had the TopStep, it was only 4,500. My strategy is broken after 1 loss. Now I have to do a 1-to-1, or like I can do a 0.5 R. Now I'm going to be taking more than 1 trade a day. Now you see what I'm saying? Now I'm like, okay, this isn't my game. I'm not playing my game anymore. But with y'all, I had 2 full days, and like I said, I don't recall the last time I lost 2 or more days in a row. So that one loss day, I still felt pretty comfortable the next day. Like, we'll be okay. Not going to be in profit tomorrow. We'll be at break even 3 days in if we keep going. And then just got to get over the consistency. We'll see how it goes. But I had the leeway to do that, is my point.
Cool. Glad to hear it. Yeah. And just again, if anybody doesn't know, most other firms out there, their 100Ks or higher are 3% drawdown or less. All of our accounts are 4% drawdowns, all account sizes, just if anybody didn't know that. And the guys will be able to cut that if they need it. Cool. All right. Yeah. Last question for you, my man, and I'll stop taking up your time. I appreciate the hour you've given me already. What is one question you would like to ask the next person I interview? I'll ask them that and say, hey, this is from our other qualified trader. You know, it could be something you feel like I missed asking you, or just something you're curious about the other traders, and I will just write it down here.
No, that's a good question, actually. Let's see. What would I want to ask the next guy? I would ask, I'd say this is something that you really asked me, but someone that's got like a really consistent strategy, I'd just be curious, like, what R do they typically use, and, you know, about how much are they winning? It's kind of a selfish question. Like, kind of just want to see how I stack up against some of the other guys that are doing a good job. Because I mean, like me and you mentioned earlier, you can calculate the difference between your R and your win rate, and you're going to get an idea of how profitable you or the next guy or anybody is.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. I mean, I'm planning on asking it to everybody, I promise, but that's even the way I've always tried to teach new traders, is like, here's the base winning formula. 2, and 50. Manipulate it how you want. So that's definitely something we'll keep an eye on. And like I said, you've obviously manipulated it in your own way. That hit rate's a lot higher than a lot of other traders, and the risk reward is lower than some of our other winning traders, right? So it is
Absolutely.
a constant. That's almost why I like, if you're familiar with Rake Trades, I actually get to meet him in New York City a couple weekends ago. Awesome
nice.
guy.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome guy. But he talks about trading being an art, not a science, right? While so many people are on the opposite side of that. I kind of like that, hey, here's your basic science of trading. Manipulate it how you want into the art form that works for you. And again, you're a perfect example of it there. So
right.
I can promise
so
I will be
fixed. Just move the numbers around.
Yeah. Cool, man. Any closing thoughts? Anything you want to say? Anything I missed?
Not particularly, man. Just thank you for everything you're doing, brother. Y'all are doing an awesome job, and I really look forward to continuing to trade with you guys.
Awesome. I appreciate your time so much, man. I'm looking forward to your next payout. It sounds like you're already cooking again, so I'm glad to hear it.
We're getting there.
And like I said, hey, we're going to be building out the path to live and everything in the coming months. We are only in month 2 here, but know that's on the way. So don't set that ceiling on yourself, because as long as you keep showing us you're building a track record, hey, we want to continue to elevate you as a trader. And obviously, like I said, huge difference in the future space that I've noticed as a consumer. And now,
100%.
in the more executive side is getting people to live. That is the goal of all of this eventually, is getting you on live funds. But hey, enjoy the payouts on the way while you're getting there.
Absolutely. We'll smell the roses on the journey.
Love it, man. Thanks so much.